What's poppin' world? Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Yeah, once again, we got our controversial discussion that we got to talk about this evening. So without further ado, y'all ready to tell? Let's get right into it. So, let's just keep it a band, y'all. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a housing market crash. Not to say that there isn't gonna be one, but if I were to predict or if I were to give my estimate or my opinion on it, I think it's going to be a housing market correction, right? And I'm going to just tell you all the variables in this equation to where I came to this conclusion for this kind of outcome to transpire, right? So, obviously, let me just state the obvious. You feel me? The pandemic, you feel me? With those rates being as low as they was, allowed people to just jump all over the housing market and it overinflated, property value, new record highs that has ever been in recorded housing history. And I feel like it's reached this peak. And here are the things that why I feel like it reached this peak, right? So, if you got number one, rates about to be cut, which some of the rates are already adjusted for the Fed, coming down some basis points, and it's still not moving the needle far as buyers coming into the market because it's still a limited amount of inventory, right? That's one. Two, the economy far as, unemployment, the tightening of these high interest rates and layoffs and stuff like that has, definitely diminished the buying power of the people that will be available to seize these opportunities, right? Number three, I feel like credit card debt, I feel like it's really artificially putting a certain optics into the economy because I feel like people are way more worse off than what it shows on paper. But I do feel like because we had a credit system and people are going into debt, it is making things seem a lot less, seem a lot brighter than what it actually is, right? So you got all these things transpiring, and you can see around different parts of the country where price cuts are happening for certain properties and stuff like that, and people that bought in, and I will say this, right? It depends the housing market that you're in because it's not just symmetrical, right? Different places have different demands just because population policy, economics, so on and so forth. Politicians, right, left, so many variables. So I'm not gonna say across the board, but I say by and large, and if I'm just generalizing, I do feel like it's gonna be a price correction, right, in the market only due to the fact that I feel like we've hit the wall, we hit a crescendo, and the biggest indicator is by those rates coming down, and it's still not affecting more buyers coming in to buy up more homes. I feel like the monthly mortgage of the 30-year fix has to be more attractive and more approachable towards, the median family income, which I think is about 70 grand, 70, 80 grand, which is probably like a two-person income. Maybe it could be one person. But that's just average, right? So if the houses are priced above average and it's not meeting up to what is average, then there's how would they say, a cognitive dissonance as far as people moving in and actually having the access to make that next step, right? As far as in building wealth and being in the asset class and so on and so forth. So this is just pretty much like indicators that I see on why I feel like, like I said, I don't think it's a housing crash, maybe a correction. We'll see. Maybe things will be a lot more attractive towards the end of next year. Because there should be plenty of rate cuts, but it can't cut it too fast because inflation will spike up. But then if they cut it too slow, then it, it definitely puts more damage and more strain on the economy. So with that being said, I want to know what y'all think. Um, you know, do your due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor, you feel me? So just take what I say with a grain of salt, but this is just my opinion. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Comment, like, subscribe. More videos on the way.